Thank you, Chairman. Mr. O'Neill, I wanted to talk a little bit about this, the hate map concept, but isn't it true Southern Poverty Law Center began as a public interest law firm?
Correct.
Yeah. And it actually, as a member of the state legislature, we had some issues in which Southern Poverty Law Center had weighed in on. So I was familiar with the group before this latest set of issues made us kind of more aware of what's going on internally. But when did the organization start to kind of stray from that original mission or that original course?
So it strayed from that course in at least two ways and two time periods. The first was in the 1980s when the lawyers all quit because they said that Morris Dees took the organization in a direction of fighting the Klan instead of representing poor people in the South. And then the more recent time was really starting in the late 1990s, but ramping up by 1,000% in 2010 when they had their hate map and they started going after conservative organizations.
So let's talk about the hate map. So first of all, can you explain the hate map?
Yes, this is a map. The SPLC is best known for suing Klan groups into bankruptcy. And so they had a program called Klan Watch. They expanded it to Hate Watch because they ran out of grand dragons to slay. And not to say that white supremacy doesn't exist anymore in America. There are some isolated groups, but by and large, not enough to justify the sort of money that the SPLC gets. And they have this map that's supposed to, and in their words, they say it reveals the infrastructure upholding white supremacy in America today. And this map now includes social conservative organizations like the Family Research Council, Moms for Liberty. It includes now Turning Point USA, PragerU. It includes Alliance Defending Freedom. It includes the Center for Immigration Studies, the Federation for American Immigration. I mean, I could just go down the list. And it also includes a group of LGBT people who oppose sexualized lessons for children in schools. So they call that group an anti-LGBTQ hate group.
So is it too far to say there's no left-wing groups on the hate map?
There are a few left-leaning groups on the hate map, but nowhere near, like, the overall bias is very clear against the right. They don't have Antifa. They don't have Jane's Revenge. They do have the new Black Panther Party, I believe, which they always reference when they're asked this question. But by and large, the hate map is solely, well, not solely, but by and large targeted on conservative organizations.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Perkins, do you think the Southern Poverty Law Center is intentionally trying to draw a distinction between you and these kind of legitimate hate groups? Do you think they're trying to maybe
They're trying to conflate
them? Yeah.
They use those organizations to marginalize and demean legitimate conservative Christian organizations.
Do you think they're purposely diverting money from your organization and reducing your operations, or do you think that's a target?
That was a part of their broader conspiracy with financial platforms and banks to debank us and other organizations to keep us from being able to get funds from donor-advised funds, yes. So they're trying to bankrupt conservative groups.
Can I ask you further, did they have any success in that adventure?
Yes, they did.
Okay. The last thing I would say is, you have a relationship with, if there is, with corporate donations. Is there any linkage between kind of what they were doing to suppress further corporate donations to their organization or to you? Either way.
I think most of the work was with corporations that had platforms or financial corporations that, like PayPal, that would facilitate funding to conservative groups. Most corporations were not giving to conservative groups directly, so they were intermediates. They were the vehicles through which people would donate to conservative organizations.
Yeah, so it wasn't about the ideology of the corporation. It was more about how they facilitated the actual movement of funds.
Well, I would say some of them willingly went along. Others were pressured by the SPLC using their government connections. And I think some Some in the tech world have suggested that there were threats about regulators, like in the banking industry.
Yeah.
So I think they use threats and bullying tactics.
Thank you very much. Chairman, I yield back.